Hello there once again, and welcome to another edition of this Mission Melfest podcast. Me, Ben Robertson, and another great week of Melodifestivalen action we had last week. Let's review it, because I tell you what, I got it very right, and I got it very, very wrong. Let's start with the right first, okay? Let's start with Anna Bergendahl. From the very first section, when I was in the room on the Wednesday, and I heard the start of that song, it was streets ahead of what appeared to be a really weak pack. It had high tempo, it was catchy, it's clap along, it's sing along, it's what you want from Melodifestivalen. And especially the way the dancers interact at the end, this is just so Melfest. It's a great number, the whole package is there. And I think, we've actually got one now. We've got a contender. This is going to be in it to win it when it comes to Friends Arena. The only thing I question here is Anna Bergendahl and the style of the music. Because last year, with Ashes to Ashes, Anna got great scores from all the older voters last time. Lots of 10 points, I believe, after Lundvik got 12s. This is getting loads and loads of attention from exactly that demographic. I can see there being certain 12s in the televote, in over 75s, over 60s, over 45s. The question will be if it can get the younger people vote. I think it can get the jury vote. The jury vote should be okay. It's a similar demographic. But it'll be the younger people vote that will decide if it's top 3 or top 1. The question here, though, is it is a story. It so happens the day after Kingdom Come qualified to the final, my YouTube recommendations suggested seeing a certain video from 2010 when Anna Bergendahl didn't qualify from the Eurovision semi-final in Oslo. There's a story, there's a narrative. It would be very SVT, especially with this being Krista Björkman's penultimate year, to get Anna to Eurovision, to get Anna into a Eurovision grand final, and save everybody from the legacy of that missed qualification that year. I could see it happening. I didn't see at the time. I didn't see what happened with Dotter. On Wednesday at 6 o'clock Central European time, I tweet through what I hear about the songs, and I said this about Dotter's song, I don't know a catchment for this. Some nice lines, but nothing to make the artist stand out. Dotter delivered. And I tell you what, Dotter looked so much the pop star that it didn't hear that on Wednesday. We didn't see that in the rehearsals on Thursday, but it really came across. All the camera shots and the effects of the lasers were tightened up, and it worked. Us in the press, and all of us that I certainly read, we got this very wrong. So why are we so stupid? Why did it feel so obvious on Saturday night that Dotter was the one when it didn't click before that? There's a few reasons, I think. In the arena, vocally and visually on that Thursday, it didn't have the same impact it had down the screen. You can see rehearsal footage in the press room, but you don't get sound. So the journalists don't sit in the press room to watch rehearsals, they sit in the arena. So you do get a different perception. There's also concern about Dotter, the performer. If you remember, she was in Melodifestivalen 2 years ago, the song Cry, and that was a letdown in the night. It was meant to be a hugely tipped press favourite, and it almost came in last. So perhaps there was a bit of caution from us press there about that happening again. And also, I think others didn't really meet expectations. Paul Ray is the one that stands out here. I wish he calmed down his performance, stopped the bouncing, just emote to the camera, just sell the story of the song with sincerity. That's what Talking in My Sleep really needed. And hopefully he can change it for Andrew Quanson, because that's got potential to subtly go through the radio playlists all across Sweden. But the big come away I had from this, and I'm going to publish this on the ESC Insight this week, is about actually hearing those songs on the Wednesday, that first impression, because that sticks with you, and you, as a journalist, you don't like changing your opinion from what you first come up with. This song here, Dot has referenced it herself as having clear seer links to it. It is arena pop. This is music for a big audience. And frankly, when we first heard it, we heard it on tin pot speakers in a hotel conference room, and it didn't have the same effect. I wonder if it's almost intentional. I wonder if, we hear all the songs in different stages. We see the lyrics on the Tuesday. On the Wednesday, we hear them in this conference room. On the Thursday, we hear them in the arena. On a Friday, you get the audience involved. There's a narrative for the week of different conditions, and different songs do better and worse than others. It's almost like SVT are artificially creating an extra narrative as to who's going to qualify through the week to make it even more exciting. Have a read of that in ESC Insight. I hope you find it interesting. It's an experience. That Wednesday, that feeling of listening to the songs is a really, really strange feeling. And it's one of the most weird Eurovision experiences I've ever had. Never before have I felt so much pressure as a journalist, let me tell you. Anyway, you're probably wondering where I'm heading to for semi-final 3. Well, you may have heard the clitter-clatter of the carriage, and you may have heard the this humming noise of the very proud renewable electricity. That may give it away that I am currently on another train journey this week to get to my next Melodifestivalen location. This one, though, was just a little bit different. You see, Heat 3 is being held in the town of Luleå. Now, if you know your geography of Sweden, you'll know that most people in this country live on the southern, warmer part of this huge landmass. And Luleå's not there. Luleå is stuck in the north of Sweden. It's just a few miles south of the Arctic Circle. So the journey from Stockholm takes about 14 hours by train. So this train departed Stockholm on Tuesday night just after 9 o'clock from Central Station, and will arrive in Luleå at 11. Yes, you are quite correct. That is just in time for another lunch buffet. Absolutely. Now let me tell you, of all of the trips and destinations, this is the one I've been most looking forward to on this journey. For me, whenever I've been to places in the Eurovision bubble, I've always thought the atmosphere has been better when you go to the smaller cities and locations, where the whole atmosphere could take over the place. In Gothenburg last week, even just compared to Linköping, which is still quite a big city here in Sweden, you couldn't really notice anything was happening. There was a few posters here and there, but there wasn't really a big effect across the entire city. Luleå is hosting for only the third time Melodifestivalen. It's a population of just 50,000 people, so I'm looking forward, and what I've already heard from the tourist board there is that there's plenty of events going on linked to the show. They're making it into a really big family festival. And actually, I've brought my own family with me on this trip. My wife and our 1-year-old son Nevis are still asleep in the cabin. The time's nearly 8 o'clock right now, so I'm glad they're having a lie-in. We got ourselves a little private cabin here, which technically makes us first class on this journey. Ooh. Now Sweden's far less of a class culture as you may expect from other countries, but that still got us lounge access. We got some pasta and biscuits before we came out, and a hot drink. We had proper duvets, proper pillows on the journey, and also, the three of us in our little cabin, we had a private shower, had a private toilet compartment, so it's not a bad little room at all. It actually had the best feature I think I've ever seen on any night train journeys I've been on, and that's a window in your room you could actually open just a little bit. You see, one of the perils of being British abroad is that you're incredibly used to sleeping in cold, draft, damp rooms. So actually having somewhere where you could actually blow a bit of cold air in was an absolute lifesaver. I never sleep great on night trains, but this time I got myself 6 good hours. There was some rocking, but you know what, far less than I'm used to. This is a lovely little journey, and I tell you what, it's a lovely little place to wake up to, okay? Right now, Wednesday morning, I'm looking out the window here. The sun is just about coming up. I can see a little orange glow on the horizon. Of course, you're so far north now, it's rising incredibly slowly. And the rest of the sky, there's incredible blue tinge to it. It's just stunningly reflecting off the snow, and there's a beauty into this. We're shortly going to be arriving into this small town of Bastutresk that, according to Wikipedia, I've just checked, a population of 392 people. We're now hitting the southern fringes of Lapland, and I can see just like a multiplying stream of coniferous trees forming a big reef on the landscape. It's very serene, let me tell you. And let me tell you, there's one more of these little first-class perks I've got to do for you. I'm going to do it live. I've got a little breakfast box, a turkey and cheese breakfast box. Let's give it a little open. And inside here, I'm going to be feasting on one little piece of rye bread with some sunflower seeds inside. I have got a sour, salty and sweetly toned cheese. There we go. There is 10 grams of fruit muesli. That's an incredibly small portion. Sweden, thinking about its waste, they have wooden cutlery here. That is I say the plastic waste. I've got a nice little plastic container of my yogurt there. This is a apple juice. There is some turkey with one solitary cherry tomato, again in plastic. Bit of spread and one little phase of chocolate. Keep me going. I'll be digging into that. Don't you worry about it. But tell you what a great view I've got for this as well. It's really getting me in the in a proper Melfest spirit. There's not been any snow in Sweden, at least in the southern parts of the country, for almost all of the winter. It's one of the warmest winters on record in this country. I certainly don't know a Melodifestivalen period without snow before in my time living over here. And you would think, in a country of Greta Thunberg and flight shaming, that this train north might, it might become a Schlager train for the night, Artists, press, SVT staff filling every single space and cabin, to get up to Luleå. But looking around here, I think I'm the only one. Well, I got out of that train eventually. It took up an hour late, so I actually missed out on that lunch buffet, but I got to the arena in time to listen to the 7 songs on stage. You know what? I'm going to start with the 2 pre-contest favourites bit of review here. Maria opens the show, and Shout It Out is one of those songs that is just written to open a Melodifestivalen heat. It is that feel good, make some noise, make a difference, do something about the world, and Maria performs it well, I questioned it a little bit on the Wednesday, being quite anonymous, but I think Maria actually gives it a lift that I wasn't expecting in the song. It's one of those which, yes, people have got to watch it and go, that's Melodifestivalen. I will happily press my app and give that some points. If it goes beyond Mariette's normal reach to the question, it's not going to be a Melodifestivalen winner, but it might well be a Melodifestivalen qualifier. Mohombi's an interesting one. There's all been bigged up this week that Mohombi's got a special gimmick. It appears that special gimmick is Mohombi's going to be flying across the stage. Well, he's not. What he does is gets lifted up by wires upwards and downwards. And it's a pre-record, they've just in the rehearsal right now. Sorry, Sweden. in Estilau 2 years ago, they had somebody fly across the stage live. Estonia is doing production far better than Sweden. Now that's not true, but the effect here is lame. You've also got staging pillars around exactly the same as Cami had, and yeah, this song would struggle to get out of a Eurovision semi-final, let me tell you. Mohombi sells. He's a great character, but Melodifestivalen winner, this isn't. There's a few others in the mix this week. The favourites have really not been as clear as we expected. I'm giving my shout out here to Anis Don Demina. This is an absolute hit. I am not going to hear the end of this song for weeks and months ahead. This is going to be played in every single schoolyard in Sweden. I don't know if I'm being biased here for that, I live in one of these million project urban suburb neighbourhoods, and this is the kind of stuff that gets played there. But this is an absolute hit for the people who love it, and it's very much written for that purpose. He's not going to win Melodifestivalen. He's not in it to win it. He's in it to get his fan base back on board and give him another chance in the limelight. It does that. This is my guilty pleasure of the year, and I think it's definitely top 4 when it comes to Saturday night. Got to say the same about Drengana. Drengana have, I interviewed them quickly today, and my first question was, right, which one of you is Irish? This is just, this is the Irish jig that I wish Ireland did send to the contest. It's just got such liveliness and charisma to it, and it's a bit of Swedish culture that I didn't really know existed. I've been told by the boys, actually, there's a bit of bagpipes in the mix, you can hear it as well. It's got a key change. It's alright. It is that kind of thing that works now we're in semi-final 3, because now people at home are looking for something a bit more, trolling, a bit more, oh yeah, let's send this, isn't that funny? There's a place for this, and it is quite good. So they're the 4 I'm picking off that we need to discuss. The press bubble seem to be loving this Faith Kakembo, which is a very not Melodifestivalen style of American soul music. It's got the same songwriter as Dying to Try from Ireland in Eurovision a couple of years ago, and I'll be honest, I can't stop hearing that when I hear this song being played. For me, it leaves me cold. For people here, it's leaving them really warm and toasty. It's one of those I just don't know about, which means it's probably going to win the entire thing. But the more I think about it, the more it is Anna and Dotter who are heading all the way through to make a very exciting final. Enjoy the show on Saturday, and hear more from me next week when I'm heading down to Malmö. I haven't been there since Eurovision itself.
The ESC Insight podcast from Melodifestivalen was hosted and written by Ben Robertson, www.escinsight.com.